Hey guys, it's your boy 3STACK in this thing. I'm very hyped to showcase you guys my take and spin on Blue Eyes Chaos Max. This is something people have asked for a long time, a very long time. I mean, it's literally been like, I think 6 or 7 months since people have been asking to see this deck. I mean, it was hard to get the stuff. I originally had a pure Blue Eyes deck and ended up selling it when I needed to pay my rent, when I had lost the job and was kind of struggling. And I finally was able to pick the deck back up quite in a difficult manner. It took a lot of sacrifices to get the deck. I actually ended up getting it from one of my teammates. So yeah, I made a sacrifice, you guys, to finally fulfill a deck request that people have been asking for a while. I will say that the extra deck is still incomplete. There's certain cards that I'm still looking for that I just don't have. And then there's the Crystal Wing that I'm lending to my True Draco Invoked extra deck, of course. But we're going to hop right into this main deck without further ado. This is my take on what the ritual variant of Blue Eyes should be. So starting off with the monsters, I played 2 copies of Chaos Max. While I'm talking, I'm just going to get that Crystal Wing out the extra deck. Just lend it. But I played 2 copies of Chaos Max because 3 is just like not very optimal for me. I feel like it's too easy to search because you can search it off of Maju, you can search it off of Melody of the Awakening Dragon. I just find it too easy to search, so there's no reason to really play 3. I'm playing 2 so that you can actually drop 2, which, you know, you're actually able to do so. My only thing was, with this deck, Blue Eyes already brick themselves without the assistance of adding in a ritual mechanic. And while I love rituals, I understand the pros and cons of how you can open up with a card like this and no way to summon it, or you can open up with the card like this and no way to use it. So what I wanted to do with this deck was just increase its ceiling by playing alternative win conditions, and also I wanted to cut down on a lot of certain other engine cards. Like originally I was playing a spellbook engine in this deck because we have Sage as a spellcaster and then we had Master as a spellcaster. So I was playing a spellbook engine for draw power, and then I was like, no, I need to cut it. And then I was playing Pot of Desires and it was killing me, and I was like, no, I need to cut it. So what I ended up doing was bringing this deck to its purest form. So we're playing 2 Chaos Max, and you'll see what I'm talking about as we move forward into the deck list. Then we're playing 3 copies of Blue Eyes Alternative Dragon. Alternative is just insane. He's just one of the freest bodies ever. He just enables you to first turn Spirit Dragon with ease. And Spirit Dragon is pretty nice. I like him. Pendulum Magicians kind of can play around up to the Spirit Lockdown because they can just Pendulum summon Harmonizing from hand and use Harmonizing, and then just like play Castell and like try to shuffle them. But still, nonetheless, I like Spirit Dragon, and I like that this card not only enables you to get to Spirit Dragon faster, it enables you to get to rank 8s faster. It helps you to link summon. It's really strong. I like it a lot. And they were playing 3 copies of Blue Eyes, obviously the vanilla. One of my favorite monsters in the game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Kaiba is actually my favorite character. Then we played 1 copy of Dragon Spirit of White. I know, right? Team King of Games. What? Are you kidding me? Yeah, seriously. 1 copy of Dragon Spirit of White. I really like him a lot, but this is something that doesn't come up enough in this list to where you need to play more than 1, because you have a lot of revival cards and you don't ever want to draw into this card. It's just a really great card because of the removal that it provides, and also the tagging out ability helps you to dodge card effects that target. For example, if there is a card that would target this card and destroy it, or if somebody tries to like ghost over it, you can actually chain it and tag out, and then it won't die and you'll still get the effect to resolve, and it's just a better way to play. That's just something that could come up. It doesn't really all the time. And also in the battle phase, like if you attack over 1 monster and your opponent has another monster, you can tag out and then attack that other monster. Your opponent does have to control one. You have to keep in mind that you can't attack directly and then tag out and attack directly again. I wish you could do that because it would be a crazy OTK, but 1 Dragon Spirit of White. And then one of my spicy techs, I actually played Deep Eyes White Dragon. This guy, oh my gosh, he's like a busted hand trap. That's another thing too. For this list, I'm not playing the hand traps. Although they're good and they are competitive, I wanted to draw only combo pieces to get out my Blue Eyes Chaos Max or to bring out an extra deck play. The main goal of this deck is just to summon beaters. I want to summon beaters and swarm the field and try to kill you in 1 turn as fast as possible. Deep Eyes White Dragon helps as not only a recovery play, but he also nukes the field. Now, he can special summon himself if a Blue Eyes monster is destroyed, and then he will inflict damage to your opponent. I believe it's 600 or 300. What do you say? it will be 600 damage times the number of different named dragons in your grave, which could be 6, 12, 18, 24, and then Blue Eye Spirit Dragon would be 3000. Like, when you drop this card mid to late game, you can just burn your opponent to death just off the burn effect. Then he targets a dragon monster in your graveyard. He gains that monster's attack, so he can become 4000 just like Blue Eyes Chaos Max. And then he has another effect. If he's destroyed, you can basically just destroy all cards. Is it all cards or all monsters? Okay, destroy all monsters your opponent controls, so it acts as a Raigeki. It's a powerful hand trap. I feel like Blue Eyes players are sleeping on it. I understand that you don't really want to draw into it too much. That's why I just played as one of. It's almost like the maxi of the deck, you can say. So that's it for the big dragons. I originally was playing Kid Moto Dragon and Red Eyes Black Metal Dragon. Red Eyes Darkness Metal, but that's going to be saved for my pure list, for my pure Blue Eyes. But for right now, we're doing the Ritual variant first. And then we have 3 of the OG Sages. Sage is really good in this deck because when you open up with Sage and Manju, obviously you don't have to worry about, oh, I can only summon one. You can actually just normal your Manju, get the Search, and Sage. You know, it's a simple combo that most Blue Eyes players know that they can already do. I'm just sharing the information. If you didn't know, you can just normal Manju, use this effect to search, and then drop Sage on them and get the maximum value out of it. Or sometimes if you feel like a little safe and you know that you're going to live for a turn, you can just save the Sage and use him for your normal summon the next turn. But Sage is amazing. And then in tandem with that, we're playing 3 White Stones of the Ancients and 1 White Stone of Legend, the 4 eggs. And also, we're playing 3 copies of Handy Manny. Handy Manny is one of my go-to cards. He's my lad. He's my helping hand. I love him. He helps out a lot of my ritual decks to be a lot more consistent, and he's just a great versatile card. I like him a lot more than Sinju. There's a reason why this card's played over Sinju, because he searches whatever you need. So if you open up with Chaos Max, you can just search the ritual spell. A cool thing with Chaos Max in this deck, because he is searchable off of Melody of the Awakening Dragon, if you open up with Melody and your Manju, you have instant Chaos Max. That's a 2-card combo, 2 cards. That will still end you with 1 card in hand. So you're summoning Chaos Max at the cost of 1 card. Just 1. Because basically, you can activate this, discarding a card. You'll search for Chaos Max, and then you'll search for whatever else you need, and you can just normally search the ritual. You can either play Advanced Ritual Art to dump Chaos Max from your hand, which is the most optimal way to do earlier in the game. Or if it's late game and you already have the Blue Eyes in your grave, you can just play Chaos Form, and you get to keep the extra dragon that you search off of Melody. So that's something that's really cool. It's one of the most consistent ways to summon Chaos Max, which I kind of like that. You don't lose as much resources. So just keep that in mind. That's why he's very important. He's an absolute must-have at 3. That sums up the monster count. And I'm actually modifying my extra deck right now as I go along. And for the spells, we are playing 3 Dragon Shrine. This is something I get a lot of like bad, I guess you can say bad remarks on. Some people say, oh, no, play 2 of this and 1 Foolish Burial, or do something like that. I like Dragon Shrine. I like Dragon Shrine because Foolish Burial can't dump 2 dragons. Dragon Shrine can. I like seeing it in my opening hand all the time. I don't care if it's a hard once per turn. It's an incredible combo piece. Dragon Shrine actually sets you up for your Chaos Form later on in the game. It's a guaranteed stone, and I just like to dump Dragon Spirit of White and White Stone of Ancients right away. Or sometimes you want to dump Blue Eyes and then use use Dragon Shrine's other effect to dump a stone to deck in a lot. It just helps you out a lot more than you know. I like 3 Dragon Shrines. This is just something I've always saw as a staple 3 of. I understand that you can play 2 of this and 1 Foolish Burial, but I like the added effect of Dragon Shrine. I like the added effect. It's just really good. I know it's a hard one to return. I understand that, but it's worth playing, in my opinion. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. In my opinion, it's just really worth playing. It's like a card that you don't have to play. You actually don't even have to play it in your list. You can still like just do what you want to do, you know, without it. But I really like opening up with this because there's sometimes when I have a brick hand and it's like, okay, I have like a Chaos Form, or I'll have like Chaos Max, and then I'll activate Dragon Shrine, and I'll dump Blue Eyes and I'll dump a stone. So I'll set myself up for 2 plays to summon from stone, and I have a Blue Eyes target for my Chaos Form. And it just helps out a lot. I like Dragon Shrine so much. Like, I don't want to keep explaining this card, but I feel like it's a staple 3 of for me personally. I love Dragon Shrine. I've explained myself enough. You can play Foolish Burial if you want. I'm not saying it's a bad way to play. And then 3 copies of the Melody of the Awakening Dragon. This spell is just insane. More specifically for the Chaos Max build, because this acts I'm sorry guys. This acts kind of as a pseudo pre-prep. It's not as good as pre-prep, but it's like a pseudo because it actually does get you 2 things that you need, which is Chaos Max and the Ritual Fodder for the tributing of him, if you don't already have it, which is pretty cool. And for the draw power, we have 3 copies of Trading and 2 cards of Consonance. Pretty simple. Like I said, we're not playing Desires and we're not playing the Spellbook engine. I did test out both. I explained that in the beginning of the video. I tested out both, and ultimately Desires was hurting me because this deck, it's too fast. Like, you burn through your dragons way too fast. And there's a lot of times when the first turn I'll dump stones and be like, ooh, I'm good to go. And then Desires and banish all my targets for stones. Or I'll banish all the rest of the cards that I need, like my other 2 alternatives. And it's like I have 1 alternative that I already summoned. And you just make things harder for yourself at the offset chance that you can draw 2 more cards that you could possibly use for a further combo. Desires makes this deck like a glass cannon more than it already is, because then after your second turn, you have like no other plays. You have no follow-up. So I did test out Desires. Desires would probably work out better in the pure build, but not for the Chaos Max build. I don't think so. Because you only play 2 Chaos Max and you play 4 of the ritual spells. And you just really need to keep those cards. That's just me though. Like I said, I did test out Desires. I guess the fact that Desires screwed me over more than twice was more than enough convincing for me to just be like, screw Desires for this list. For the Revival cards, we played 3 Gospel Revival. This is just really cool. I wish you could summon back Chaos Max off of this. It'd be nice to do. And then 2 copies of Silver's Cry and 1 Soul Charge. These are just, any one of these is great. Soul Charge obviously just wins you games. Bring out your Soul Charge. It helps you to make Firewall Dragon and other link monsters. It basically just helps you to link. The deck doesn't link easy, but it sometimes needs to link to make the boards that I'm trying to make. When we weren't in link format, Blue Eyes would make some of the most insane turn 1 boards like there ever were. 2 Chaos Form and 2 ARA. I was like on the fence about these cards. I was like, I don't really want to see this late game, but then I was like, I don't really want to see this early game. And then I was like, I don't want to play 1-1 because you just won't see the cards enough, and then you'll have to rely on drawing into Manju. By playing, I think, 3 to 4 of the ritual spells, you have a good chance of drawing into at least one of them alongside with like a Melody or a Manju or something like that. Sometimes, I'm sorry guys, there are some games when I resolve 2 ARAs, and then there's some games when I resolve 2 Chaos Forms. So it was like, dang man, like how do I cut these? And ultimately I was just like, you know what, I don't want to cut them. I'm just gonna keep it at 2 and 2 and keep my my options open, because there are certain games when you're gonna resolve this more, and there's certain games when you're gonna resolve this more. So I wanted to keep backup multiple copies in the main deck so that I don't run into the problem where it's like, dang, I chose 2 Chaos Form and 1 ARA, and right now I could really use another ARA. Or vice versa, it's like, dang, I chose 2 ARA and 1 Chaos Form, and I've resolved my first Chaos Form. Now the only way that I can summon Chaos Max is through Chaos Form, but I'm only played 1 and I've already resolved it. So that was like a really good reason for me to just play 2 and 2. Now moving forward to the extra deck. The extra deck is going to be 2 copies of Blue Eye Spirit Dragon, the ultimate boss monster for this deck minus Chaos Max. If you can get Chaos Max and Blue Eye Spirit right next to it, it's a pretty nice board. It's protected in the sense that, well, obviously Chaos Max already protects itself, but it's also protected in the sense that you're cock blocking multiple summons, you're negating Graves effects, and then you can always tag out if he's in trouble. Into the best card to tag out is obviously Azurize. Azurize is just insane. He gives you free pluses every single standby. In my opinion, that's a plus. Gets free field presence. And he protects everything that's not Chaos Max and gives it the same effect, that they can't be targeted or destroyed. So he makes all your dragons into Chaos Maxes, which is pretty cool. And then we're playing the Crystal Wing. I literally just stole this from the extra deck of my True Draco Invokes right now, just to let you know. Michael, cards that we are missing are Ancient Fairy Dragon and Black Winged Moonlit, Black Rose Moonlit Dragon. So that's it for the Synchros. I told you the cards that we're missing. Then we have Felgrand, we have Titanic Galaxy, we have the Galaxy package. I feel like Cypher is just needs to be cut, because the only time you can use this effect to steal an XYZ and keep it is when you link summon. It comes up, but not enough, because link summoning is just like, you're giving up beaters that have a lot of attack and could potentially OTK to try to bring out more beaters. I don't know. I'm not really sure how I feel about Link summoning in this deck, but it happens sometimes. Twin Burst, he just outs like Crystal Wing when you bait it out. The indestructible Crystal Wing, you just bait it out and then banish it. And then he also outs BLs. He can out pretty much any monster that can be destroyed. That's the best way to describe it. And then Gaia Saber. I chose this over Decode because I don't want to give my opponent a free monster zone. And I tend to make Gaia under either the firewall, or I'll use Gaia to put proxy Link to him and then just have 2 open zones to go like Spirit Dragon, and then any rank 8 that's detrimental like Felgrand is one of the best controls. And then the other rank 8 that I'm trying to get, I don't know where they are, but my Lancelot, the Underworld dude, the one that like mandatory forcible negates cards. And Firewall comes up. It's just any 4 monsters, which is pretty nice. So it could come up under Soul Charge, or if you have a really broken hand with like good revival cards like Return, you can make the Firewall. And then you just basically have to extend your plays to get something linked to him. So sometimes you just make them when you know that you're going to be able to link summon again. The other cards that I explained that I'm missing in the extra deck, I'm going to get them soon. And that'll be part of the update that I do when I rebuild my Galaxy Blue Eyes, which was a deck that got really popular on this channel. A lot of people like the Galaxy build with the Galaxy Soldiers and the Galaxy Wizard and Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon himself. It was really cool, and it was an awesome deck. The artwork was beautiful and amazing, and the aspect of it was really aggro, which I liked a lot. But I did want to showcase this because it's a ritual deck, and it's added to my arsenal now because I want more ritual decks. You know, I love rituals. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. God bless you. Make good choices. Don't hurt your brain cells. Peace out.